What's up guys, I'm Ellie. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be filming a Q&A. I actually asked for questions weeks and weeks ago, but of course with a newborn, life is hectic and I just haven't gotten around to actually filming this. I asked you guys for questions that were mommy related, lifting related, pretty much anything that you guys wanted to ask. So that's what we're going to be going over today. I screenshotted all of the questions that I got all of those weeks ago, so let's get right into it. All right. The first question that I got was, why didn't you continue to weight train during pregnancy? So actually, I did train during the beginning of my pregnancy. I trained all the way up to about 20 weeks. That's when we had my anatomy scan, and they did diagnose me with placenta previa at that point, and they recommended that I discontinue all physical activity, not just working out, but they basically told me that even excessive walking was off limits for me, like no sex. Basically, I was on pelvic rest at that point just because of the possibility of something happening with placenta previa. When you have placenta previa, your placenta is in the way of your cervix, which means that bleeding could happen and it can become very dangerous for you and the baby. So I wasn't cleared to have a vaginal birth until I was around 34 weeks pregnant. And at that point, I'd already gone a very long time without training. So I kind of just didn't train for the remainder of my pregnancy, which was really only 3 more weeks because I was induced at 37 weeks. So that's why I didn't really train during the majority of my pregnancy, even though I really wanted to. I always intended on having a very active pregnancy, but unfortunately that was just not the safest route for me during that time. The next question I got was actually from my coach, who was asking if I had done my body weight exercises that day. At that point, I was still not cleared to fully go back to work out, so I was actually just doing some body weight stuff at work, or what am I talking about? So I was actually just doing some body weight stuff at home, and he was checking up on me and making sure that I did them, and I had. I was so sore, you guys, when I just did that stuff at home. I was doing like air squats and like push-ups, and I was dying the next day. So I could definitely tell that I hadn't worked out in a very long time. And now I am so glad to finally be actually back in the gym and getting back to my regular workouts. The next question I got was, what was the hardest part of the whole process of pregnancy, from the beginning of pregnancy to delivery? And there's a couple of things that were very difficult for me. Sir, what's up? The hardest thing that I dealt with during pregnancy was definitely the anxiety. Because we had the scares with placenta previa, I was very anxious and concerned about Thomas the entire time I was pregnant, pretty much. I mean, even before, honestly, because I'm just a naturally pretty anxious person, but pregnancy elevated that like tenfold. I was just always concerned. It was a very irrational fear, and I know I've mentioned it to you guys before, but I was just always very worried that if anything happened to him, I would feel an immense guilt. And thankfully, he is here and he is perfectly healthy. Aside from that, I would say that during delivery, the hardest part was the very end. The last hour of contractions was just excruciating. I will not downplay it. It is the most pain I have ever felt in my entire life, but I would not change it for the world. I am glad that I did go the epidural free route, just because after I gave birth, I pretty much felt right back to normal. Next question I got, which kind of goes along with what I just answered, is, did you or are you suffering from any symptoms of postpartum depression? I do have to say that after I gave birth, I felt a huge sense of relief. So even though I had been so anxious during my pregnancy, after the fact, I have not had to deal with any real symptoms of postpartum depression. Yes, in the beginning, like the first few weeks, I would cry for no reason apparently, but it was more so out of happiness. Like I would just look at him and I was so thankful that he was here and that he was healthy, and that after worrying for so long, it had all been worth it. So no, I have been very fortunate in that I haven't dealt with postpartum depression. I actually got this next question a few times, and it was, how do you plan on balancing lifting and mom life? I am very fortunate in this sense. When I go back to work, I'm only going to be going back part-time, so I'm only going to be working twice a week. So for the majority of the time, I will be able to take care of Thomas, and I'm also very fortunate that the gym I've started to go to allows me to bring him with me. So I'm kind of being able to work out pretty regularly at this point. I am going 3 to 4 times a week, and I do plan on continuing that when I go back to work. I'm actually going back to work in just a couple of weeks, but like I said, because I'm only going back those 2 days, I plan on still keeping my routine of going like Mondays, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. And yes, I have to say I'm very, very fortunate that, you know, Joey is able to let me do that. I mean, not let me do that, but I'm just fortunate that we're able to do that. This next question, I'm not gonna lie, this is something I was so worried about, which is so silly because obviously in the moment I didn't think about it at all, and I know that if it did happen, I wouldn't have cared whatsoever. But someone asked if I pooed during delivery, and I've heard that the percentage is like 80% of women do, but I was very fortunate to be in that 20% and I did not. Next question is, the biggest surprise of motherhood so far, I would say, is just how much you can love another human being. Obviously, I love Joey, but it is just on a completely different level, a completely different type of love. Little man, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? Hey. My Thomas is 11 weeks old today. I can't believe it. Time has just gone by so quickly. Oh, he's got my hair. I think we only have a couple or one question left, so he can just hang out with us for the remainder of this. What kind of influence do you think having a strong, lifting mom will have on your son growing up? I love this question because I think it can have nothing but positive outcomes, in that I am going to be setting a good example for him to be healthy, to take care of his body, and that women can do anything guys can do. Yeah, right, little man? He's so chill right now. What is he doing? So I am actually very excited to raise a boy that sees his mom as someone that can do all the things that men can do. And you know, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but at the beginning of my pregnancy, I really wanted to have a girl. Growing up, I always thought I wanted to first have a boy and then a girl because I liked the whole idea of having a son to take care of his younger sister. And then, you know, once I got pregnant, I realized how silly that train of thought is. Why can't a sister take care of her younger brother? And so I got really excited about the idea of raising a strong girl, a girl that doesn't see any restrictions just because she's a girl. But now that he is here, I do have to say I couldn't imagine it being any other way, and I'm so happy that he is who he is, and I'm still going to raise him exactly as I would a girl. Another question that I got was, did you experience any embarrassing or funny symptoms in your pregnancy, like a lot of gas or farting? Actually, I was about to say I can't remember, but heck yes, I can remember. The worst thing that happened to me all the freaking time was that this little dude, I feel like, was pressing on my bladder constantly because I had to go like every hour to the bathroom, and it started pretty early on. And I have to say that anytime I sneezed, yes, a little would come out. And it was really annoying. I had to deal with it all the time. I had to wear panty liners, and yeah, thanks little dude. Appreciate it. All right, guys, I think that is all of the questions that I'm going to go through today. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to film another Q&A for you guys soon. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys really soon. Say thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Little man. Hi. Your little Marvel outfit. I love you so much. Ooh, had a nice burp in there. Oh. Quickly, I forgot to mention, I did get a mom cut. It only took like 7 weeks of being a mom for it to happen, but I had thought about doing it for a while and I'm kind of enjoying it. I do miss my long hair, not gonna lie. You're so precious.